I could wait and see.
If I had been smart, if I'd been honest with my survey, I would have described Hannah. And maybe would have talked. Seriously talked. Not just joking around like last summer at the movie theater. But I didn't do that. I wasn't thinking that way.
Would most students, as I expected, get their list and just have a good laugh, thinking nothing of it? Or would they use it?
If Hannah's name and number had shown up on my list, would I have called her? I slouched down into the cold bench, leaning my head back. Far back, like the tip of my spine might burst if I kept going.
Very little, I told myself, could go wrong. The survey was a joke. No one's going to use it. Calm down, Hannah. You are not setting yourself up. But if I was right, if I called it correctly, if I willingly gave someone an excuse to test those rumors about me, well, I don't know. Maybe I'd shrug it off. Maybe I'd get pissed. Or maybe I would let go and give up. This time, for the first time, I saw the possibilities in giving up. I even found hope in it.
Ever since Kat's going away party, I couldn't stop thinking about Hannah. How she looked, how she acted, how it never matched up with what I heard. But I was too afraid to find out for sure. Too afraid she might laugh if I asked her out. Just too afraid.
So, what were my options? I could leave the office, a pessimist, and take my survey with me. Or I could leave it as an optimist and hope for the best. In the end, I walked out of that office and with my survey still in the box, unsure of what I was, an optimist, a pessimist, neither, a fool.
I closed my eyes, concentrating on the cool air floating around me. When I went into the movie theater last summer for a job application, I pretended to be surprised that Hannah worked there. But she was the whole reason I applied.
Today's the day, the cheerleader said. Cheerfully, of course. Pick up your Oh My Dollar Valentines at the student body office today.
On my first day at work, they placed me in a concession stand with Hannah. She showed me how to pump the butter, topping it to the popcorn. She said that if someone I had a crush on came in, I shouldn't put butter in the bottom half of the tub. That way, halfway through the movie, they'd come back out asking for more. And then there wouldn't be so many people around, we could talk. But I never did that, because it was Hannah I was interested in, and the other thoughts that she had for other guys made me jealous.
I hadn't decided yet if I wanted to find out who the survey matched me up with. With my luck, it'd be a fellow lumberjack. But when I walked by the office and found no one standing in line, I thought, what the hell? I went up to the counter and started saying my name, but the cheerleader at the computer cut me off. Thanks for supporting the cheerleaders, Hannah. She tilted her head to one side and smiled. That sounded dumb, right? But I'm supposed to say it to everyone.
It was probably the same cheerleader who gave me my survey results.
She typed my name into the computer, hit enter, then asked how many names I wanted, 1 or 5. I placed a $5 bill on the counter. She hid the number 5 key, and a printer on my side of the counter spit out my list. She told me they put the printer on our side so the cheerleaders wouldn't be tempted to peek at our names, so people wouldn't feel embarrassed by who they got. I told her that was a good idea and started looking over my list. So, the cheerleader said, who'd you get?
Definitely the cheerleader who helped me.
She was joking, of course.
No, she wasn't.
Half joking. I placed my list on the counter for her to see. Not bad, she said. Ooh, I like this one. I agreed that it wasn't a bad list, but not wonderful either. She lifted her shoulders and called my list a shrugger. Then she let me in on a little secret. It wasn't the most scientific of surveys.
Except for the people seeking a depressed loner like Holden Caulfield. For that, the survey deserved a Nobel Prize.
We both agreed that 2 names on the list matched me fairly well. Another name one that I was pleased with, brought an entirely different reaction out of her. "No," she said. Her expression, her posture, lost all its cheeriness. "Trust me, no."
Is he on one of your tapes, Hannah? Is that who this tape is about? Because I don't think this tape is about the cheerleader.
"But he's cute," I said. "On the outside," she told me. She pulled out a stack of fives from the register, put mine on top, then went through the stack, turning each bill the same way. I didn't push the subject, but I should have, and in a couple more tapes you'll know why. Which reminds me, I haven't told you who our main man on this tape is. Fortunately, this is the perfect time to introduce him, because that's exactly when he showed up.
Again, not me.
Something started buzzing. A phone? I looked at the cheerleader, but she shook her head. So I swung my backpack onto the counter, fished out my phone, and answered it. "Hannah Baker?" the caller said. "Good to see you." I looked at the cheerleader and shrugged. "Who is this?" I asked. "Well, guess how I got your number," he said. I told him that I hated guessing games, so he told me. "I paid for it." "You paid for my phone number?" The cheerleader scooped her hand over her mouth and pointed at the printout. The Oh My Dollar Valentines! No way, I thought. Someone was actually calling because my name was on their list? Kind of exciting, yes, but kind of weird at the same time. The cheerleader touched the names we both thought were good matches, but I shook my head no. I knew those voices well enough to know it wasn't either of them. It also wasn't the one she warned me about. I read the other two names on my list out loud. "It looks like you made my list," the caller said, "but I didn't make yours."
Actually, you did make her list. A different list. One I'm sure you don't like being on.
I asked him where on his list my name popped up. Again he told me to guess, then quickly added that he was joking. "Ready for this?" he asked. "You're my number one, Hannah." I mouthed his answer. "Number one?" And the cheerleader hopped up and down. "This is so cool," she whispered. The caller then asked what I was doing for Valentine's Day. "Depends," I told him. "Who are you?" But he didn't answer. He didn't need to, because at that moment I saw him, standing